So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the questions. The main purpose. Okay, so this is something that I'm gonna think about after I read the entire passage, right? Okay, another question that's about the entire passage. So I'm not gonna really keep these in mind that much. Okay, best evidence. Okay, the discussion multi-dimensional behavior therapy. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm going to lines 26 to 36. I'm gonna highlight this. Add highlight because this is something I have to look at and answer when I eventually get to this part. Line 27, confer. So 26, 27. So what I would also do is I would probably just let me highlight this. I'll highlight that and I'll keep in mind that, okay, right here from lines 26 to 36, I have to make sure I read carefully because this is going to be quizzed later on, right? I'm going to highlight all the vocabulary questions. Last two, potent. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because I can just answer these questions as I go. I don't have to go back to read the sentence all over again. Okay, and it's 3 graph questions. Pretty simple. Okay, let's read. Over the last 2 decades, mind-body therapies, MBTs, including Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation yoga, have received increasing awareness and attention from the scientific community, seeking to understand the safety and efficacy of those widely used practices. Okay, so apparently, these things have been receiving increasing awareness and attention. So now we want to ask why. Why is it receiving this increased attention? And the reason I'm asking myself this question, even though I probably really don't care much, is because I'm tricking my brain into caring. How many times do you guys look at these passages and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to read this? Well, you got to read it because you want to get all the questions right. So you have to trick your brain into actually being like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? According to the 2007 National Health Injury Survey, 90% of American adults have used at least one mind-body therapy in the past 12 months. That's pretty cool. Currently, the National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine designates MBTs as a top research priority. Okay, what is MBTs, right? That's something we want to... What is that? Previous work has shown that MBTs offer many psychological and health functioning... Oh, mind-body therapies. Okay. Many psychological and health functioning benefits, including reductions in disease, symptoms, improvements in coping, behavior regulation, quality of life, and well-being. Okay, so MBTs offer many benefits, all right? So we know this is a really good thing. In light of these benefits, recent investigations have sought to better understand the role of MBTs on physiological pathways such as the immune system. It has been well established that psychological stress and depression impair antiviral immune responses and activate innate immunity or markers of inflammation via effector pathways such as the sympathetic nervous system and the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Now, when I read this, I was like, whoa, they must think I'm a doctor. But if you really break this down, guys, we can just sum this up into our words, in our language, you know what I'm saying? It has been well established that psychological stress and depression. So all this is really saying is that psychological stress and depression can make you get sick. Yes, they have a lot of big words in here, hypothalamus, pituitary adrenal. Well, if you just dumb it down, all it's saying is that it can get you sick. And this is why. This is the science behind it. In fact, behavioral interventions targeted at alleviating stress, promoting heightened states of relaxation, encouraging moderate physical activity, have been shown to bolster antiviral immune responses and decrease markers of inflammation, particularly among older adults or adults experiencing high levels of psychological stress. So, right here, you want to do behaviors that alleviate stress, right? Heightened states of relaxation. So this is where MBTs can come in, or encouraging moderate physical activity, going to the gym. That's something that we always hear, right? The efficacy of such behavioral interventions in modeling the immune system suggests that MBTs may also confer immunomodulatory benefits. Okay, so what does confer mean? So now we're going to go to this part, right? In line 27, confer most nearly means may also... Negotiate? No, you're not negotiating benefits, right? May also admit, you're not really admitting, well, actually could potentially be admitting, may allocate benefits. So you're not really allocating things. Allocates when you're separating things, maybe this, 10% of resources get allocated to this department, 20% gets allocated to this department. You're not really you're not allocating things. You're more so presenting, bestowing, hey, you're receiving these benefits. You're bestowing these benefits upon the person, right? Tai Chi, Qigong, Yoga are multidimensional behavioral therapies and integrate moderate physical activity, deep breathing, and meditation to promote stress reduction and relaxation, which can potentially influence the immune system. Meditation, including more integrative mindfulness-based stress reduction programs, has also been shown to regulate emotional and effective responses to stress, and therefore may influence the immune system even in the absence of physical activity. So it's really saying that meditation is a really good thing of alleviating stress. Let's see right here, right? So that question we're talking about lines right here, yeah. Primarily serves to introduce the claim that integrating mental and physical exercise can have a strong impact on health. Provide a simple, specific example of how these kinds of therapy can influence a person's overall health better than any others. Inform readers about the different kinds of therapies they can use to supplement the physical activity. Yeah, so you see right here, the first they talk about what therapies are, then they talk about like what they include, and then they talk about the effect, right? So they're not really introducing anything. This has already been introduced. Actually, as technically it hasn't been introduced. What can we first eliminate? Okay, so it's really not a specific example. In fact, it's kind of listing different things. So take out that part. Then inform readers about the different kinds of therapies they can use supplement their physical activity. They're not really like, that's one part of it, right? It's really one part of a sentence that they're informing about that different type of therapy. It's not really the main thing. Cross that out. So is it defending the study's findings? You could say that, but who's it defending against? Defending is more like argumentative, right? They're more so introducing the claim that integrating this can have a strong impact on health, right? Because right here they talk about benefits. Yes, at first I'm thinking like, okay, well, they did talk about over here as well, but this is more vague. This is more tied to like, hey, this is what happens if you do have stress, right? Your immunity goes low. This is more tied to this part right here, right? Like this new idea. Okay, so now I keep reading. To our knowledge, this study is the first comprehensive review of the best available evidence summarizing the effects of MBTs on the immune system while focusing on two aspects of immunity that are regulated by stress response mechanisms, namely inflammation and antiviral related immune responses. Indeed, evidence accrued from 34 randomly controlled trials indicates that Tai Chi, so all these meditation practices, both short and long term, appear to reduce markers of inflammation and influence virus-specific immune responses to vaccination. So basically saying is, yay, evidence supports it. We knew it. Therapies help. Our findings are supported by existing literature evaluating the immuno effects. And guys, something I do, if I see a big word, I'll just shorten it. No one cares if I can pronounce it correctly. All I need to know is that, that's a word, what it probably means. In this case, it probably means something with the immune system, and keep it pushing. You don't have to try to sound it out. No one cares, right? Time's the issue. Of other types of behavioral interventions, including exercise, stress reduction, mood modifying approaches. For example, exercise, one of the most, like this is an example right here, widely studied behavioral interventions has been shown to reduce chronic inflammation, enhance immunological memory in the context of vaccination, and even reduce sick days. Cool. Associated with a common cold, other respiratory tract infections. Okay, so let me add a highlight. Apparently, powerful links exist between the brain and the immune system, and psychosocial factors can directly influence health through behavior. MBTs may also buffer these immune alterations through relaxation, stress reduction, improved mood, moderate physical activity. So there's powerful links between the brain and the immune system. Makes sense. Behavioral responses are therefore the key to activating neuroendocrine and autonomic pathways, which in turn modulate the immune system and have implications for susceptibility to a variety of diseases. Thus, behavioral interventions that alter immune responses provide potent evidence for psychological influences on immune function. Okay, and now the word potent. Thus, behavioral interventions that alter immune responses provide potent evidence. So, do you hear the term stiff evidence? I've never heard of stiff evidence. That's gone. Vigorous evidence? I've never heard of that. Concentrated evidence? That's not that bad. Potent evidence? I've never heard, and that's why it's not an option, right? Significant evidence. That's something everyone's probably heard. right? This evidence is very significant. It's significant evidence to prove that this person is guilty. We hear the term significant evidence a lot, so I'm going to use that term. You want to use your colloquial language to answer these questions. Okay, now that we answered all like the questions that we can answer as we go, let's actually we can also answer the graph questions. Why not? How does a graph relate to the passage? Let's see what this graph is saying. So the more you exercise, the less cortisol is produced. Less stress. Yeah, more you exercise, less stress, right? See how I'm dumbing this down for myself? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be super smart as long as you can dumb it down for yourself. And fatty acids are increasing, and I'm guessing fatty acids are a good thing, right? And stress is decreasing, so that's good. It indicates that stress hormones are only loosely linked with physical exercise. No, it's obviously pretty clearly linked. It highlights findings that exercise has an impact on lowering stress in the body. That is true. Sports that claim that cortisol is closely linked in the body with free fatty acids. No, that's not really talked about too much in the passage. It emphasizes the disparity between pure physical exercise and mind-body therapies. What? Doesn't make sense. So it obviously highlights that, hey, exercise has an impact on lowering stress. According to the graph, the large decrease in cortisol occurs between 15 to 30. No, it increases. 45 to 60. So it's like halfway. 60 to 90, you can see a pretty big drop. Like, yeah. So C is the answer. It can reasonably be inferred from the graph that while stress hormones rise sharply at the beginning of exercise, they drop below the initial value after 120 minutes. That is true. The initial value is right here, right? After 120, boom, it's below. The benefits of prolonged exercise are minimal. Boom, already gone. The passage was talking about how prolonged exercise helps. And we all know from prior experience, use prior experience to your advantage, exercise is good. The more you exercise, the better. And same, exercising for a duration shorter than 60 minutes. No, they're not really the same. Sustained drop in cortisol is beneficial only when combined with... No, okay. This doesn't even mention exercise. Boom. So now we take it from the top. The main purpose of the passage is to counter the claim. No one said METs have no effect on the immune system. Inform readers that mind-body therapies can influence the immune response in the body. Yes, this whole science passage, most science passages are to inform, guys. That's something that, that's the main thing is to inform. Uphold the findings of a previous study. It's not about just a study. Advance the argument. They're not really making it an argument. Based on the passage, behaviors can influence physical health by... Okay, so we already know reinforcing the body's reaction to physical stress is more so impacting the body's immune response, right? More physical health, less stress, less health conditions. What choice provides best evidence? So that's 1 to 5. This is just talking about general practices. No. 5 to 7. This is just the adult statistic that doesn't help us. Line 7 to 9. No one cares. Good job. The National Center has made MBT a top research priority. How does that affect the body's immune response? 2025, you can see right here, shown to bolster antiviral immune responses, right? That's pure evidence that directly correlates with A. Usually, if you get this answer right, the lines are pretty clear. Look at that. See, I can already skip 4 and 5. Number 6, the author implies that the study of mind-body therapy is especially important because... Oh, battery. There is not... MBTs are a new and unexplored way... Yeah, so there's no comprehensive study done before, right? And that's why the author literally said in the passage he wants us to do a study. Or he wants to look into find. He's informing us of, hey, this is all the stuff that we can find. 37 to 41. This is the first comprehensive review. Boom, right there, done. Right? Boom, A is already answered. 9 is already answered. Every question is already answered now. That's the beauty of answering questions as we go. Now we sit with the answers. 100%. Just like I said, guys, this can be done. But now you guys know exactly what you need to do to answer every single question correct on SAT reading passage. So now there's no excuse for you not to get 100%. For more help on the SAT, check my resources in the description below.